Marvel Rivals has absolutely taken over the world the last few months. And while I haven't had time to play it, as a professional animator, I can't help but be curious about the game's animations. But turns out there's a lot of characters. So we're gonna be splitting this up into 4 different videos. One for each character role and a final video to crown the best MVP animation in the game. But for today, let's start by figuring out which strategist has the best MVP animation in Marvel Rivals. Let's get into it. Oh, they have an impact frame here too? Interesting. These manual 3D impact frames are always fun. They actually do a pretty decent job at choosing the shading because they're doing a completely different light here, which is cool. So if you actually take a look at the previous frame, they have like general lighting from mostly the front, it looks like. There's kind of like a top-down front view light direction. But then right here, suddenly all the light's coming from the left. So they're doing a custom light source for the impact frames, which feels very nice, inverting it for maximum contrast, which we've talked about before. And then you have this really good, this really good drag on his hand, which brings the momentum here into the payoff pretty nicely. But I'm not like thinking this is like the most amazing thing I've ever seen. There's a couple things that could be a little bit better. I almost wish this hand did a screen wipe. So you have a really cool opportunity here. This hand could be like just pushed closer to camera. And you can do this with just scaling the hand up. You can fake it. A lot of people fake this crazy focal length sometimes. Having a screen wipe here would feel a lot nicer than this particular silhouette because it's already getting a little bit lost in the silhouette here. But it's cool. Adam Warlock is pretty good. I would give him a B. It's solid, it's good, but it's not like amazing. What? That's totally different. This is crazy. I didn't expect it to be so different. Okay, so the skins give totally different MVP animation. As much as I think this is a lot cooler than the other one, I also can't really say that it is because animation-wise, he does nothing. He does basically nothing, right? Like bottom mechanics-wise, he's just flying through the air and then he poses at the end. Like there's really not a whole lot going on here. Okay, so Adam Warlock, Guardians of the Galaxy 3 version. I'm putting him in D tier. He looks cool. He feels cool. Animation-wise, not that impressive. He has a third animation? Oh, really? What is it? Is he a vampire? Is this a Halloween skin? It looks like he's an anti-vampire. He's like a vampire hunter, maybe? I'm gonna be honest, I'm not super impressed with this one. I feel like this arc didn't give me the satisfaction I wanted it to. They're doing a good job like bringing it in. They do a sudden 90-degree turn here, which didn't feel like it was building on any of the previous energy. Like you can do this, you can have it be more erratic and that's fine. But like that's like the perfect time to really just accelerate. And like that acceleration is a missed opportunity. Instead, they just sort of like, I'm gonna put Blood Soul in D as well. There was a lot of things that he didn't really do quite as well. With those gaps, it doesn't deserve a super high score. All right, cool. What's going on next? Whoa. I like this. He's got some really cool ideas. Really close to the camera poses, which I do enjoy. Okay, well, the hand is clipping into the camera. That's a bit of a problem. The first thing I would say is I really like this idea of her coming up close, but I feel like her momentum and her line of action isn't properly set up. You'll notice that the momentum kind of goes like this, right? She goes like that, and then she like falls back. That's fine. That's good. And I really like that. But unfortunately, what we have here actually isn't emphasizing it as much as it could. The issue here that I'm noticing is that her hand is already outstretched a little bit too early. By the time she's here, her hand's already here and it's not really doing that much. It doesn't add a lot to the silhouette. It's not doing anything crazy. But what if the arm, the elbow was like here and it was like trying to spin from this sort of like closed off pose, right? If it was sort of more wrapped around. So essentially what you have is like potentially a closed off pose to start with, and then a swing of the arm across the camera. That would give it a lot more momentum. And then you have this pose here and you had the hand essentially swing across the screen. And then you could have a really nice pose here that like emphasizes the character's hand silhouette ideally. And then you go to this pose, it would feel a lot more earned, right? And then you get all the beautiful stuff that they do later, and that's all fine. That's a small thing. Ultimately, looks good. I would give her a solid A. It could be better. It's like an A-, but I still give her a solid A. Let's move on to the next Cloak and Dagger. What? Huh. So they're like fairies? Okay. This one is interesting. Real quick, at the very beginning, Dagger doesn't really have the best spinning animation. This is something that I've talked about a lot. Spinning animation is very particular. The #1 rule for spinning animation is that you need to have a stable axis. If you don't have a stable axis, you don't spin, you wobble. And wobbling is a very different thing than spinning. Generally speaking, if you spin, you need to have a stable axis. You'll notice here, she does not have a stable axis. Her axis starts off here, and then it transitions over to here in her final pose. Because she doesn't feel stable, she doesn't feel in control, it doesn't have a good payoff. So she just sort of like poses, and that's like fine, but it doesn't really give you the coolness factor, elegance factor that I think they're trying to go for there. So if they had simply started her axis here and just had her spin from this particular angle, it would feel a lot better. And they can keep all the animations the same. They just got to rotate the cog a little bit so that it matches that particular axis. And then she would keep it consistent just like that. I give them a C. They do some things quite well. You know, it's not bad. Next is Sue Storm. I think technically Invisible Girl. Okay, very cool. Playstyle aside, everyone loves how she looks. I mean, that's fair. I mean, it's Sue Storm, guys. First of all, this is actually the first character that we've seen that walks. She walks, guys. Her center of mass is really well balanced. It transitions between each foot really, really well. I really like this last pose too. I mean, that transitions really well to it too. I think they're doing a good job there. The camera shake at the beginning with the slight tilt is also a really intentional choice, which I like. This pose is really good. The slight inwards knee here and the slight outwards knee here. It's a really subtle thing, but like this pose gives just a bit of character and nuance to her. Sue Storm, honestly, I'm probably gonna put you as my first S. It's not blowing me away, but it's the most absolute solid one I've seen so far. I'm impressed. Hopefully, a good sign for things to come. Oh! Holy shit! Oh my, oh! Oh, fuck! Okay, even though there's not a lot of animation, this is a really cool pose. She's like almost JoJo posing here, right? Like I was surprised that she wasn't moving that much, but that's okay. This pose also very cool. And then we get a camera wipe. I love screen wipes. Look at that. The hands go across screen and open up into this honestly really, really good payoff. By the way, great facial expression, really good facial framing. She's not blocking any of her face. This is a really, really good sign, guys. And then you get this gorgeous sort of like camera shake stop with the camera, which feels really, really good. And this is very, very nice. First of all, jumping on invisible things, very cool, very Sue Storm. But look at this. This arc is gorgeous. So right here, she jumps forward, but she jumps forward with a spin. She's twisting. She's got the corkscrew VFX, which helps a lot with building that momentum, that line of action. And then she plays into it so well with this, right? So she has this pose, which is following that same corkscrew that we were seeing earlier, right? So she's getting all that momentum built up on top of each other into what's essentially her final payoff pose, which is basically an uppercut with her right hand. So what rank are you? I think that's fair. She is better than the default Sue Storm. Let's take a look at Sue's wedding skin animation, which has Mr. Fantastic in it, but that's okay. I seem to forget that Mr. Fantastic is noodly. I do kind of wish they gave her a bit more of a facial expression here. And I also kind of wish that they like showed her a bit more, but that's fine. This is a really cute pose and I hate how cute it is. I don't like it. I don't like how she's looking at him. Where does Wedding Sue belong? It's good. I give it an A. She's actually not bad. She's got some really cute reactions, some really good facial animations. It looks like our next MVP animation is Jeff the Land Shark. I hear a lot about Jeff, but I don't know much about him, I'll be honest. He ate the camera. That's so cute. Guys, I'm gonna be completely honest. There's nothing wrong with this animation at all. There's great arcs here. He lands in this really cute pose. Amazing effects, by the way, with the water effects there. The momentum of his spin and his slide feels really good. You even get a little bit of the tilting of the camera here, which makes it feel very unstable, which lends really well to him sliding towards camera. And then you get eaten, you get vomited up, and you get this cute ass pose. I can't complain about this animation. It is really, really good. And I have to say, from an emotional perspective, we get amazing facial animation, great characterization. I love this character. I'm sure no one hates this character. And we're gonna put him in S tier. What do we have next? The next Jeff skin. What? Holy shit. This is better than anything we've seen so far. First of all, this is the fastest I've seen a character move so far. Look at that squash and stretch. Look at that stretchy boy. Great arcs here. Did you guys see that? You guys see that pose? And then you have this, which is just like a lot of creative liberty on like how physics works. I'm fine with this because it's clearly intentional. You get this very comic accurate, very like Looney Tunes-esque. So really, really cool stylistic choice there. Hang time in the air, exaggerated, feels great. And what do we get next? More squash and stretch. And by that, I mean just stretchy boy. What is this, dude? This is so happy. He's so happy. This is actually just like a great pose in general, but it's actually technically mimicking penguin. Not only does this look like a dog wagging his tail, but also it mimics penguin sledding. You guys remember that from Avatar: The Last Airbender? But penguins actually do move this way, and so do seals, right? So then we have these smears, which is ultimately a foundation of like comic book and 2D animation. These action lines, you know, that we get on the tail, on the body here, these impact frames here, these impact shapes, I guess, are very comic booky. More smears, more just like overall craziness, and then you get this incredibly exaggerated look until you get a screen wipe and then the cutest pose here. I'm gonna put Fuzzlefin in SS tier, and honestly, I think Fuzzlefin is a little bit better than Malice, but like, who's cat? We are. All right, who's next? Like, oh my god. Oh my god, he put on the costume. But this running animation is a little bit hard to judge because we're missing a little bit of the curves that I think we would be able to see better without the costume. But like right here, when the legs are together here, technically we should see a bit more of a curve here. It'd be nice if we could get it. I don't know how practical that is. This would help with the running animation to feel a little bit more substantial. Right now it feels a little bit stiff. I do wish there was actually splashes here. It's just clipping through the water. There should definitely be splashes in the VFX. So that's a little bit unfortunate, but that's really an effects thing. I think it's a really cute idea. The execution is pretty good. I don't see anything particularly wrong with it, and I do like the tripping animation. I think that actually is executed pretty well. So Incognito Dolphin, I would probably give a solid A tier. It's not like amazing. There's a couple things that could be better. Who is next? Loki. I want to like this. It started out so strong. The end is not good enough. They have really good ideas here. I really like the buildup of the arcs here. So this has an arc being built up, right? It's a visual arc. And not only that, you see here, it goes to his face. Your eye goes to his face, and then it transitions here. Look at that. Really good arc payoff. I like this a lot. That's cool. And then it goes into the spinning of the staff, right? So the arcs are really good here. It's beating on itself. It's got this flow to it. Notice what his staff is doing, because the staff is the last piece of the puzzle that just needs to carry in the momentum and really see it through. So the staff just does whatever it wants to, man. The staff is not properly parented right now. That is not how staffs work. Oh man, it's just going through the hand. It just goes to whatever it wants. Okay, regardless, we're just talking about flow. We're talking about arcs. We're talking about momentum, right? What is it doing wrong? Honestly, the biggest thing here is that it's losing a lot of its momentum here. It's flattening itself to camera. You're immediately cutting off that momentum. See this? Look at this. Okay, it goes a little further, but it's basically not going the actual arc. It goes like this. So it's rotating towards camera, and then this moment here where essentially it kind of just like reverses. See this? See how it's reversing? Even if it had the perfect arcs going into this, notice how it just ends, and then he just brings it backwards. You guys see that? The arcs are going this way, and then at the very end, boop! That's not good arcs, bro. You're undoing all of your momentum. You're undoing all of the anticipation if you just kept it going instead and had something that built on top of those spirals that you created during the first part of the animation. It would have felt so much better. And so for that, get a B. All right, let's go on. What's next? You guys notice a problem with this? Immediately, what stands out to you? Could lean a bit more to exaggerate the pull. Strings aren't pulled very tight. Feels a bit weak, not enough brace. Honestly, you guys have nailed it right on the head. There's a lot of slack on these, and he's pulling really hard. And I'm sure, because these are technically timelines, they're very heavy, but if you want the animation to feel like he's actually pulling on them, and they feel heavy, you need to have the strings be pretty taut. The weird thing is that like they basically don't change when he pulls. Like, look at this. They just do whatever they want. They're not responding to him at all. Just a small thing, really, is just to have these things be tighter here. I have to give him probably a D. I think this Loki gets a D. His next skin makes up for the first two IMO. Okay, let's find out. Who will Loki be next? Whoa. Oh! He's the All Butcher? He absorbed a god symbiote? Oh my god, okay. I like the angle of this scythe because it's accenting his silhouette really well. Perpendicular to his silhouette, feels good. This camera angle is a little confusing because he's facing right most of the time for the beginning, and then suddenly he's facing very left. Kind of wish they just like stayed on the left side. Let's talk about this part. This is the part that we all want to know. Does this make him an S? Honestly, I like this a lot. I think conceptually, super cool, very powerful. I do wish he lifted his head a little bit faster. There's a bit of an opportunity here. Have this pose pose be a lot more condescending. We get this already, that chin up, look down kind of look. That's the part that scares us the most. I like that a lot. I mean, I do like this a lot. I think it's a really powerful skin. That camera angle is a little bit weird in the middle, but other than that, it feels good. I would give all Butcher Loki an S. He's not quite an SS. All right, I believe that is the last Loki. Let's see who's next. Luna Snow. Ice Powers, K-pop idol? Here's the thing. I am a dancer as well as an animator. I have a couple opinions on dance animations that we're going to sort of talk about. This is very well executed in terms of like the technical things. This is not an easy thing to animate. The one thing that I wish we got out of this choreography, less so the animation itself, the choreography is missing energy here. I don't know if this makes sense, but it's missing energy right there in that particular part of the screen. It's a dancing bald spot. That's a great way to put it. It just feels like it's missing that energy. That being said, it's actually very well executed. So where do I put Luna Snow's default skin? Honestly, I give it an A. I think it's a pretty solid A. Let's see Luna's next skin. Elsa? See, that's really cute. Not a whole lot of animation. The only thing I'm really missing from this is better face poses. Pretty much just the default pose, but with one eye closed. So I think this one's like kind of okay. There's not a lot going on. So Luna Snow's Shining Star skin, I would give a C. I would give her a B if her facial expressions were a little bit better. Here we go. This is the 2099 skin for Luna. Wait, that was it? First of all, the design is sick. Just the MVP animation is giving me a little bit of stiffness and a little bit of randomness. You'll see this is her singing and it's great, but it doesn't really build up to the payoff, which is just that. This is not the pose that you would assume she would assume after singing sitting down. I think this is really the issue. Is like there's not really a lot of build up to this huge payoff. That could be either built up to better or have a different payoff that actually builds on what you're building up in the first half, which that's one of the reasons why I got so caught off guard. Everything artistically about this is really good. Like I really like the skin. So I want this to be better, but it's just not quite. Honestly, I feel like this skin has so much potential for an MVP animation that feels satisfying, but it doesn't quite set itself up in a way that it deserves that payoff. So I would say, as great as it is, I'll give it a C. I'm giving it a C because ultimately singing animation is not easy. The composition of the shots were actually quite beautiful. It's just there wasn't enough payoff. Who is next? We have Mantis. Oh, that's cute. I would say this is like pretty solid. There's nothing crazy about it, but it's not bad. It's got solid arcs. The arcs come from here and they stop for a little bit here, but then they sort of like speed forward. And I don't mind that. I think it's a pretty decent use of that build-up time. So I do actually like this. I think it does a good job. Could it be a little bit smoother? Yeah, maybe, but I think it's good. And ultimately, it's got a solid setup and payoff, and it's got a solid facial expression, especially at the end. So I'll give her a B. I think she deserves at least a B. I would give her a very high B. All right, who's next? Excuse. I did not expect that. That was really cool. This is what the final reward was for season 0. Really? She's just Genji. First of all, great pose here, being so close to camera. Love that. And then this right here, weight is really good. These poses, all really strong martial arts poses. This was a little bit strange in the arcs because like she kicks up, I think, and then I'm not sure where she goes. So one small thing I would do here is I would just have this foot not be so perpendicular to camera and just give it a little bit of leeway so you could see that arc a little bit better. Right? I did martial arts for a while too. So like generally speaking, the biggest thing here is like making sure to balance your body a little bit more. So she might have to come in a little bit here as well to balance that out. But like technically speaking, possible. So that's a small thing to affect readability. You want to get those silhouettes nice and tight. Dude, honestly, this is tough. I give her an SS. The animation of the things that she does well is already so good and so smooth and so satisfying. I don't think I could rank this any lower. This is an SS for sure. So what's next? We have more Mantis skins. That's cute. I mean, it's some good one. More arcs, more poses, good facial animation, honestly. I like how she's actually smiling. It actually has a pretty good payoff. I think Guardians of the Galaxy Mantis is probably about the same as her default skin. There's one more. Okay, cool. This feels awesome. This payoff is so good, but also the poses. She's hitting the poses really well. Like this is a Wing Chun pose. Palms turned up, legs kicking low. It's a very strong stance. It feels very snappy. It's very well executed. Great silhouettes. The multi-punch, very Ip Man. And then right here, look at the screen wipe right here. Boom. Arc flows right. I mean, they're drawing the goddamn arcs. They know exactly what they're doing. They're drawing the goddamn arc. They actually have the perfect flow and build up to this. That's so good. The satisfaction you get just from watching this is so, Guys, I like this way more than I'm supposed to. So where do I put Jade Maiden Mantis? Very easily SS. So easy, undeniable. One of the most satisfying animations I've seen for the MVP so far. We got Rocket Raccoon left. He's the last one. What do we got for Rocket? Let's see. Rocket, okay, interesting. You've got some potential. Let's talk about it. Couple things. Really good screen wipe on the head there. Very cool. Very engaging beginning. Really good weight. You see how the weight came down on here and he really like followed through with that catch. He feels like he can't lift the whole thing, and that's good. The only thing I'm missing here, and you guys may have noticed this already, but the arcs kind of break a little bit in screen space. This is fantastic. This is really good. You get this, and then you get that essentially, which feels good. It connects. You get that feels good. And then it just sort of stays still for a bit. And then he comes directly towards camera. The problem here is that it looks like there's some sort of implied camera movement that doesn't make sense because there's no background. Like right here, you get a lot of like trailing here, and it looks like he's doing a treadmill. He's got this great curve, and then he starts to move left. This is supposed to be flying by. The background's supposed to be flying by here. That's what it feels like, especially with see how far these jet trails are going. Earlier they were here, so now they're being pushed back because the camera's moving. That's not very clear because the background isn't there. You can't see camera movement without background. So if you don't see the background and you only see character, you're just seeing screen space arcs. And the screen space arcs here get a little lost. They just sort of come here and then just goes like boom, he just comes towards camera. So taking off some points there, but acknowledging that the animation itself is actually really good. I just wish that they had a bit more clarity in that. If we just give him a background, I would put this pretty high. I would give him an S. Without the background, I'd say, honestly, I'm going to give it an S anyway, but it's going to be a lower S. So this is the winter one. Oh my God. Interesting. The issue with this is actually that I don't think there's anything super satisfying about this animation until the very end. I like the concept. I think it's cute, but like there's not a lot of buildup or setup for anything until the very last pose, which I do like the very last pose a lot. This part is a little difficult to focus on because you kind of want to see his face. You kind of want to see his emotions, but he's just flying around with not any real direction and then sort of shooting snowballs in front of him. And it doesn't feel like he's actually shooting at anything in particular. So it's losing a bit of focus. I think this one isn't quite doing as much as it could. Like imagine if instead of being so far away, you actually get to see like his face and like how excited he is, right? Like, yay. Looks not excited at all the way I'm drawing him right now. But imagine he's like, he's got an excited face on his face, and then gun is like here, you know, or something like that. Like you get like this nice, he comes close to the camera just for a second, and like the camera follows him as he like shoots the gun. It slows down for just a second so you can appreciate that. All right, so where would I put him? I think he falls a little flat, honestly. I'll give him a B. I'll give him a low B, mostly just because of the ending. All right, who's next? Or what is next, I should say. Okay, pretty cool. Interesting. I like this one a lot, okay? And not just because I'm from Texas. There's a couple things he does really well here. I love the concept of him kicking his gun because it's so heavy. It feels like a giant weapon. That feels really, really good. This has a really good screen wipe on his head. Yes, we love that. Notice the line of action. Yeah, where's the line of action going? The same direction as the gun. Look at that. Absolutely beautiful, right? So it reinforces that line of action to this, which also feels really, really good. Great focal length here. Like that feels amazing. Anything that whizzes by camera is going to feel more dynamic and more interesting. And you get this perfect framing of the actual wanted poster. Fantastic. I would say this is a pretty solid S. And then we have Guardians of the Galaxy rocket, right? Groot! This is the first time we've actually had slow motion. Am I crazy? I think it's good. I like the slow motion a lot. I think it's a really cool concept. The beginning arcs are good. The slow motion is a really, really cool thing. It's well executed, actually. I would say all the slow motion aspects of what he's doing, the recoil, the expression, the slow blink as a reaction to the bright light, that's all being conveyed really well in the slow motion. The only thing I'm missing here is a more satisfying arc. Honestly, at the very end, he just sort of lands. He's a pretty solid A. Okay, we have to pick the favorite MVP animation out of the strategists. My favorite MVP animation Jade Maiden's MVP animation takes the cake. It is the most satisfying one. It really takes the cake on building all of the poses and all of the arcs and putting them together into one big payoff. And there you go. That's all the Marvel Rivals Strategist ranked in one go. But I'd love to hear if you guys agree or not. So let me know in the comments down below if you have maybe a different opinion. Honestly, the Strategists have set a really high bar for the rest of the game's cast, so I'm curious to see what the Vanguards have to offer in the next video, which if you guys want to see how they compare, along with the Duelists after that, make sure to subscribe. We'll do a full ranking of every character, and by the end of it, you'll see who gets crowned the best animation in Marvel Rivals. See you soon.